Welcome to the Rapid Addition New Trader platform. Once the user has entered his login details, he will be taken to the home page. On day one he will find this to be a blank area. I have been in already and set up 3 windows, which can be done from the application area in the menu bar. The window in the top area is a blotter window with standard column headings. I won't go through all of them, but side, quantity, symbol, limit, etc. are to be found there. In the bottom left hand corner is the announcement viewer for receiving fixed-based news announcements or IOIs. In the bottom right hand corner is the import blotter, again with headings, no need to go through all those names, side, quantity, etc., where the user can import baskets from his hard drive into the application. From here they can then be reviewed and then released into the main blotter. You'll notice, going back to the main blotter, these column headings can be moved around to suit to the user's preferences. If I right click in the blotter and show column picker, then we can see I can name my blotter, because I might have more than one open, and then choose which column headings I want to see, and those which I don't, I can uncheck the box next to that column heading I don't wish to see. So those are the choices there. Also, the user can pick how many orders he wants to see per page. I've nominated for 100 orders per page, but the user can choose however many he wishes. So as I said earlier, the user would log in on day one, this window would be empty, and if he wants to add an equity blotter, then he could do so from the application area in the menu bar. And once he's set up these windows, blotter, import blotter or announcement viewer, then he can go ahead and save those settings. Okay, navigating to the admin area, the user can change password from here. He can review his user profile, where he may wish to change which desk he's linked to. If he has admin rights, he can manage users. And from the manage users screen he can create, modify, manage the roles of, reset the password of colleagues and deactivate them. Let's have a look at manage roles. That brings up this pop-up here where he can manage the roles of his colleagues, can make them read-only user for trade support, generic trader role, head of desk or head of floor, and also assign admin rights. There is a further screen, advanced roles, and this just shows in a more detailed version the different roles available that can be included or not by clicking the check boxes. Also from the admin menu you can manage desks, so we can add new ones, edit current ones and deactivate current ones. Manage trading partners, so add new ones, edit or deactivate current ones. Obviously in the background the network connection has to be established in order for the connectivity to work. And finally manage allocation accounts, so any accounts that are used in the allocations module in the application, they can be added in this area here, again edited or deactivated. So that's what's available to the user in the admin menu. To create an order, the user will navigate to the main blotter right click his mouse and select create order. This will bring up a search for instruments window. For this demonstration we've got a library of South African stocks plugged into the database. We'll then search for a stock, select one and hit create. This will bring up a grey deal ticket. I'll select the side, buy, sell or sell short. If I select buy it turns the ticket blue. If I select sell or sell short it turns it red. Fill in the quantity, select whether it's a limit or market order. Let's make this a limit order. And time in force of good till date till the end of the month. There's an account field here. If I click the drop down, this is populated with a number of different accounts, and if you remember we can set those up in the admin area, which we covered in the admin chapter. If I want to send the order with a pre-allocated account I can do that from here. Largely most orders are post-trade allocated and we will cover that in the allocations chapter. Booking type drop down, is it a regular order or contract for difference, and there's a checkbox for locate required, where sometimes short sales are the stock is required to be located before the order can be sent. These fields are largely compulsory fields for the deal ticket. The headings below, instructions, commission and notes, are optional fields, so if we expand those and look through those we can change the settlement date, the execution instructions, add a minimum fill quantity or a maximum floor quantity, and handling instructions as well. Underneath there we have commission. We can choose to add a commission to the order, absolute, per share or percentage, and add the amount in the box adjacent to that. In the notes area I can add any notes that will be added to the text field in the fixed message if there's any other notes I want to add with the order. Then finally in the bottom of the deal ticket I can pick from the execution venue drop down, which would likely be a list of brokers, or I can nominate to choose the exchange destination field and populate that with data and then send the order off. To import a basket, the user would navigate to the import blotter. Here we have it in the bottom right hand corner. Right click his mouse, select load. Here he can give a name to his basket and provide a description should he wish to do so. Then hit the browse button, look for that basket from his hard drive, select it and then hit OK. That will then import the basket into the import blotter window where we can see it here. All the expected column headings, size, quantity, symbol, etc. And even from this window he can review the imported basket and make changes. So for example, if I want to change the destination broker for a couple of the orders in the basket, I can do so like that. Once I'm happy with the state of the basket, then I can click check all, right click in the basket and release. Confirm that I'm happy to do that. That will then release the orders into the main blotter and at the same time route them on to the destination that I've stipulated. So largely Kensington brokers here with a couple to the test broker B accounts. So that's how to import a basket and release it into the main blotter. Announcement viewer, which we'll cover in this chapter as well, as mentioned at the beginning, is a window that will accept fixed based message flow, news message flow or IOIs. So I've got an example of an IOI in the top line and a news article in the line beneath. Looking in the main blotter now, if we just have a look at its appearance and what that means, we'll see the font colours are red for sells or short sells and blue for buys. Background colours, we can see that any order that's in a working status has a white background. Anything with a pending action in a pending state has a blue background. Anything in a filled or done for day state has a green background, and anything in a cancel state has a grey background. If we look at right clicking in the blotter, we've seen earlier how to create an order. We can also cancel an order from here to send out a cancellation fix message. We can elect to change an order, so if I just click on there, I can change the quantity, price, type, time in force, etc. You'll also notice by doing that, right clicking on an order, it brings up a summary table of the incoming and outgoing messages associated with that order. So let's pick this one up here. We can see that this sell order of WEZ had gone out, was acknowledged, then confirmed. We had some partial fills coming back. Then the user sent a change request out for a new quantity of 25,000, and that change request was accepted. Going back into the right click menu, we can also view the original order if for any reason we wish to do that. We have a useful function called pull orders, so if I click on there, useful in times of unexpected central bank decisions and unexpected news, I can elect to pull all my orders that I have in the blotter. If I'm a desk head, I can pull all the orders of my desk, and if I'm running the floor, I can pull all the firm's orders if I have that permissioning. I can view allocations from here, which we will come back to on the allocations chapter. I can show the column picker if I want to show or hide any columns in the blotter. I can do so from here. We touched on this in a earlier chapter, but that's there for the user to elect to have his blotter as busy or as uncluttered as he chooses. We have a show group panel function, which if I click on there, I'm then able to use the filtering facility within the blotter. So if I want to sort by destination, for example, I can just drag that column into the top, and I can then see my orders, those I've sent to Kensington Brokers up here there, and then those I've sent to Test Broker B up here beneath. I can add as many of these column headings to the filtering as I wish, depending on how I want to filter my orders. Then simply hovering over that filter and clicking the X will release me from that filtered appearance. So as we can see, those column headings, I've got quite a busy blotter, and they tail off to the right hand side of the screen, which I can scroll across and see. Obviously the user would elect to put the least important information on the right hand side of the blotter and the most important information to the left of the blotter. And then lastly, in this menu here, he is able to copy, export and print any of the data in the blotter. Allocations. Okay, there are two ways to navigate to the allocations area. We can get there from the blotter screen by right clicking and choosing view allocation, and that has taken me to the allocation screen of the order I clicked on in the main blotter. So all I see in the allocations area is the order I've chosen to allocate. Let's go back to the main blotter. You'll see my menu bar changes. I can then get to the allocations area by clicking on allocations in the menu bar, and that returns all the orders from my blotter. So one way will get me just to the order I've nominated from the blotter, or I can come to the allocation screen and see all my orders, both those allocated and those unallocated. If I choose then an unallocated order here, right click on there and select Add Allocation. That brings up an allocation window. I can add some preform text in the text box should I choose to do so, and then in the allocation window beneath there I can right click Add Allocation Account Detail. That will then show me those allocation accounts I'd set up in my admin area on day one. So I'll choose Managed Income. I can then elect to place 5,000 shares within that account, choose another one, Managed Growth, put 6,000 shares in there, choose another one, European Income, 4,000 shares in that one, and lastly I will put the balance in Diversified Large Caps. I can then save that if I wish to come back and may want to come back and make amendments, or I can send that off now to my broker. I can see the status is currently sent. Once the broker's received the allocations, he should acknowledge them. If I click the refresh button here, we'll see he's acknowledged the allocations, and then after clicking refresh a second time I can see he's also sent back an accepted message. So originally he's acknowledged them to let the user know that the allocations have been received. He's then checked them off at his end, and once he's happy that they match, he then sends an accepted message back to the user. Now we can see some of these orders are already in an allocated status. The likelihood there is, if we go back to the main blotter, these would have been pre-allocated before the orders were sent out. So if I scroll along here, we can see under the account column that these orders were already allocated to an account. So they've been allocated already. Let's go back into the allocations window and pick an unallocated order, and you can see as well there is an option to manually allocate an order. So should the uTrader user and his broker decide to allocate the order outside of the uTrader system, then they can choose the manually allocated option for that. And that, in a nutshell, is Rapid Addition's uTrader.